Welcome back to the Lonely Road. We're here to join you on your journey to heal and become a better human. And it seems like more and more and more of you every single day are clicking in. This is our best month ever. And god damn it, we cleared 50,000 views this month. As long as this episode does average of what we've done just on YouTube, we have cleared 50,000 views. In the past week, this week of fucking chaos, I've cleared 150,000 views just on YouTube between this show and RNTS, and I felt absolutely fantastic. It's been a weird, mind blowing kind of situation, but holy shit.
That's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
That's craziness. That's amazing. I cannot
With all
believe that things are taking off so much on this particular show.
with all of the chaos going on, we're still fucking swinging. We're still here.
Yeah, in the
And
last 28 days, 40.2 thousand on just YouTube alone.
and the next 3 days or 2 days are both underperforming days, and then it jumps up to about 1K. All 3 of those days should be surpassed with the next 3 days worth of uploads. We 100% should pass 50K.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I I think it's just amazing that people are just soaking up the authenticity that we're putting on the table, because I just feel like that's what people crave. That's what, because
Yeah.
everything's so fake in life right now, in the world. No matter where you look, there's fake everywhere, and there's mind games being played everywhere, and people just crave authenticity. And it's nice to know that we have some of those people here.
Yeah, it's nice to see even just the neutral comments. Like the funniest one I think I've seen all in all was a negative comment, I think. But as a whole, it's like, oh, you got Mickey Mouse ears behind you. And I giggled because like that's fucking hilarious. Like, even if you're gonna say something negative, I don't give a fuck. At least be genuinely funny and lighthearted
There they
about it.
are. There they
Yep,
are, right here.
exactly. Exactly. Like, who fucking cares, man? Like, I got fucking
Bro,
Harry Potter shit behind me and Zelda shit behind me. Like, obviously we're lighthearted. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. We're here to try and help and kind of be like a soundboard to help you guys. We don't fucking care. Like, if you think I think so highly of myself that that shit's not funny to me, you're fucking crazy.
it made me just go, oh wait, yeah, that dude's right. But the fact was that they tried to be throw out like middle school insults and think that it's going to bother me. Well, it doesn't. And the fact that you even commented to throw a middle school insult, thanks for the comment, because it helps the
Exactly.
engagement of the channel.
Dude, let's have some fun. I don't care. I'll throw some middle school comments back. I'll click on your face. I'll click on your face and your little fucking circle. And if you're an
If
egg,
you
I
want
will
to
absolutely make fun of your invisibility because you're a little pussy online.
Yeah, if
But
you want to Woshambo, Zach is not the person to do it with, because um, I don't even like responding to or even acknowledging any of those comments on when I see them. I'm looking at them right here on the studio, because it's just
yeah, I don't respond
it's
there.
yeah,
It's
no,
stupid.
it's just beneath what I'm trying to do. What we're trying
Yeah.
to do is positivity, and the fact that they even fixed themselves 11 days ago to put Mickey Mouse ears and think that they were hurting my feeling. I
Dude, I dealt with 15 years worth of fucking marital domestic violence and abuse. Fuck you. I
But
don't
thanks for
care.
coming. Thanks for coming on a mental health podcast and showing that you absolutely have issues. You
Yeah,
should get
buddy,
help. You
you
should get.
got issues. You might need some padded room and grippy sock time.
It's it's okay to need help. It's okay to actually not lash out at people, because your
And,
own life isn't
and
what
let
you
me
want
say
to do.
this. Any of you guys that want to put stories down in the comments, whether you're on the full episode or the shorts or whatever, feel confident enough to fucking put it. If
Yeah,
I see that anybody is being a fucking dickhead, I will either roast them or I will block them completely. I will absolutely protect the kind commenters and the people that want to interact. But I'm not going to like if it's just sitting here joking around with us or even being an asshole towards us. I don't care. You're completely okay. Do not make fun of any of the fans or anything that anybody's dealt with. I want to insulate you guys and let you guys know that I'm if it was towards any fan, I would say something or care. It's towards us. I don't care. If you want to sit here and have fun, we'll have fun. But all of you guys, be comfortable enough to say stuff in the comments and have fun and everything else because that's what it's for.
I've been called worse by better people, so thank you very much, Lance Romance. Lance
Sounds like the
Romance.
biggest. It sounds like the porn ripoff of Hitch. It sounds like he's about to
All
go
right.
get high off some Benadryl and go have some fun with a chick that he doesn't fucking remember. That's what it sounds like.
Accountability, Zachary. Accountability.
So I wrote down this topic about a month ago now. And with everything I'm dealing with and looking back at like my entire life, this is something weird that genuinely hits home to me. And it's something that I struggled to thoroughly deal with and learn myself because it has something to do with boundaries and being a man. I want to protect everybody from everything and how those two things kind of intersect because it's weird.
Hmm.
Like being a man or being dad or being a husband or whatever isn't just blindly protecting everybody from everything. It's not, I'm going to protect you from the entire fucking world because the world's a rough fucking place. It's, I'm going to make sure that everything hits you in the way that I know that it won't kill you in Minecraft because that's my job. It's to protect you and insulate you enough so that way you can take every single thing that you're going to have to deal with on a day-to-day basis and we're going to handle it and we're going to get through it and you're going to actually feel what the fuck you need to feel because that's what it's supposed to be. And for the longest time, that's not what I thought it was. Whether it was my mom, whether it was my ex-wife, I wanted to pad them from everything and kind of make it so way everything was, they were protected from it. And it's really hard to realize exactly that that's not what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. Yeah. You definitely can't protect people from feeling their accountability. Or, if you protect people from accountability, it protects them or it keeps them from learning about the expectations that they should be meeting, the bar that they need to be handling themselves at. And if they're not capable, reach with there's many ways to reach out and get that capability. Um, but you can't hold people back from that personal growth because it stunts a person internally.
And it goes into such a bigger thing that I think a lot of people genuinely struggle with, which is enabling. And when you become somebody who not even doing it out of maliciousness, you're trying to care for someone and take care of them and make sure that they're okay. Even when they're not able to get out of bed, you keep telling them, "Oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. I got it." That little bit of protectiveness that you're doing of keeping them in bed and trying to make sure that they're safe, happy, and healthy and they're okay in bed is taking away the accountability of the action of wanting to stay in bed. Now you're letting them spiral into a fucking pit that you don't even know what the end is because there's no rebound to what they're doing. You're taking away all of the negative for the choices that they're making. Even if they need the day, give them the day. But don't take every single responsibility off their plate because that might not be what they need.
No, it's definitely. I think that it's the honest, open feedback in a non. It's critical to do, but it's critical to do in a non so critical way, so that that person can understand the feedback, but not feel attacked by the feedback. because as we discussed last week, people usually jump to defensiveness right away unless they've done the
Yep.
work about that. So, as communicators, it's on us to figure out how to combat that to get our point across.
Exactly. And it gets into that flow of trying to figure out exactly how to speak to somebody, especially if they're down, especially if they're depressed and they're in their emotions and trying to feel and put those pieces together. It becomes very, very fucking complex to try and figure out exactly what you're supposed to say, what you're supposed to feel. Because not only are they feeling, you're also feeling. Because if it's just, I have the SADS today and I don't want to get out of bed, and you've done this for the past week, you're going to feel some type of way. You're going to feel negative. You're going to feel shitty. You're going to feel out of control at some point because there's a level of disrespect there in their unavailability to hold themselves accountable and even take care of themselves at some point. That has a lasting impact on everybody in that circle. And that trickle down of not being able to hold themselves accountable kind of shades everybody in the circle, regardless of if it's one person or 50, because everybody you hold up feels it, regardless of if you feel like you can do it or not.
Yeah, I mean, like, you want to protect a person from feeling those things at, like, maybe in the past, that's how you felt, but you can't shield them from the consequences of their inactions as much as their actions. They have to have those consequences and feel those consequences in order to continue to evolve, act differently, and moving forward.
Like when I was a teenager, and this is probably where a lot of this shit started for me. When I was a teenager, my mom would get depressed and crash. She ended up in bed. She ended up in bed a lot. She was suffering with severe mental illness and struggling. And I love her to death. And regardless of what she was dealing with at that time, I get it. But at the same time, it compounds on itself. And when everybody's kind of pushing her into one space, one space, one space, and it becomes cyclical and it doesn't fix itself, the only person that was able to get her out of her room half the time was me. So I'm bouncing off the walls trying to get her the fuck out of bed and at least sit at the computer instead of in her bed. And it became such an action that I kind of resented almost. Not just with my mom, but with my ex too. When she would crash and wouldn't get out of bed, it made me frustrated because it's like this is a partnership. We're supposed to be a team in this. And instead of being a team, you want to just sit upstairs in bed and not help and not be a part of things. And you're not telling me, oh, I'll be okay in a day. I'll be okay in a couple hours. I need a nap. You're telling me, go deal with it. It's your job. I don't want any of this. And it's like, I saw what I did with my mom and looking back at how me and Bree handled everything with Joshua, her understanding where I was coming from of like, okay, I don't want to sit, I don't want to sit up in bed. If you need a day or 2 days to like decompress and mourn and withdraw with yourself, absolutely, I accept that. But let's come to terms and understand exactly what we need when we need it and kind of have the conversation of what we need. We don't need to shut ourselves out from conversation here. We have a family we have to take care of. That's our number one. Mourning, number two, and each other is number three. So let's take care of each other and make sure that everything's okay. If you can't do it today, I got it. But I need to know that you need me to get it. We need to at least have that level of conversation and holding each other accountable. I need to make sure that I don't need to pick you up and carry you downstairs to go get in the shower. You getting in the shower will help you. It'll make you feel better. It's step one. You know what I'm saying? So I need you to be that accountable. And she was like, absolutely. I completely understand where you're coming from. And I think that it was dealing with a lot of those things in my childhood, dealing with a lot of those things in my past marriage. It's hard. It's hard because you want to protect them from like having to fucking do it today or having to do it tomorrow. And it's like the pressure of having to do it today might be the thing that fucking gets them through. Stop telling them to give up. And there's a lot of people that will tell you you're an asshole for doing that.
Yeah, no, it's a fine line to walk. I had a previous marriage myself, and the same thing would happen with that person. Um, she would get so down, um, and she would be in the bed for a days, week, you know, going barely getting out of bed. Um, and it would all depend on her own cycle. But I was young, and I didn't realize that there was nothing I could do to help her through what she was going through because it was too much um, for it was too much for someone non-professional to help with.
Mm.
But I didn't realize that at the time, and all I wanted was for her to be happy. And it was watching this happen, but not wanting her to have to deal with the after repercussions. You know, when you stop running and it all comes piling at you, like you've just gotten in a car accident, all those cars pile up. It's the same thing when you stop dealing with things. It all piles up and it ends up being a collision of possibly multiple things.
And when you
Bills.
stop enabling them and protecting them from everything of like, there is chaos. You could walk out of that bedroom and you're 5 fucking months behind in every single bill because you don't know how to have the conversation with them. Hey, babe, we got to put this shit together. You're needed. You can't put this on their back because oh they can't even put their fucking socks on correctly today. But at the some point, like milk ages fucking horribly.
Yeah.
And if you keep leaving milk on the fucking floor and it's 90 degrees, it might not be there tomorrow.
Yeah. It's that conversation that's the key. If you don't feel like you can have that conversation with your partner or those kind of conversations, excuse me, conversations with your partner like you had with Bree, or they don't land correctly,
Yeah.
or you don't communicate them correctly, you either have to deal with that, fixing that communication issue in your relationship, or figure out if that relationship's the best thing for you. But communication is the key through that. And it's cliche, but communication is the key for everything. For
Mm.
everything in life, you need to learn how to communicate appropriately. And if you don't learn how to communicate appropriately, it's going to come out. Your fear is going to come out. It's going to come out in anger. It's going to come out in impulses when you least expect it or can't control it. And then you're going to blame, you can or could have the personality to blame other people for your own actions. And that's not going to work correctly. That's not going to work out for you.
Exactly. It just compounds and compounds and compounds and becomes a bigger and bigger and bigger issue. The more that you enable, the more that you push these issues into something that almost has a mind of its own because it then becomes just their mental health and then you fighting against their feelings because you're telling them that you need something from them and they're telling you that they can't do anything, then you're compounding a huge ass fucking thing against their emotions. That is a divorce waiting to happen because you couldn't have any bit of conversation at the beginning of a problem or a month in. The longer that you wait, the longer that you compound that situation, the longer that you protect them from that accountability of like, hey, we need to understand exactly where we're at so that way we have a plan of how to get out of this. That is step one. The reason that that is step one is life is hard. Life is really fucking hard. And you're in a partnership. And if they don't see you as a partner, they see you as a slave and you keep working away and that accountability is guaranteed to be taken away from them, that becomes almost an addictive thing.
Yeah, because as we both know, when the relationship ends, it just kind of blows up in their face in one way or another.
It always does because they've never grown from it.
They may
That
become dependent
accountability is
on
still
someone
taken.
else for a while, but that's going to blow up in their face as well at some point.
And it doesn't end when that pen hits the paper. It doesn't end when you say, "Hey, I'm fucking done, leave." It doesn't say, "Oh, you said you don't love me anymore." That accountability's gone. No, that accountability doesn't change until that fucking person's gone. Gone completely out of your life because now they have no impact on it. It's weird because it's like, regardless of a person being a part of your life still or having your name or whatever, that's not the end of their accountability because they've hidden 50 fucking different things behind your back that you have no fucking idea what the fuck they did. You are fucking 15 different things down the street from where the fuck you're reading what the fuck's going on over here. And yet there's still no answer to it. And there never will be. But the thing is that accountability doesn't change until you can turn off that phone and say, "Hey, not my fucking problem anymore."
Yeah. I mean, not not taking that accountability or not holding yourself to that standard. It's just it could be for many different reasons. You could feel entitled. Um, it could be some kind of trauma from the past. You could think you're perfect in every way and never wrong. It could just be the feeling of not wanting to be the asshole. But sometimes, YTA, man, sometimes in life, there are always times where you're the asshole. You just have to accept that. And that's the accountability, is not only accepting it, but moving forward through the steps of accountability. Am I able to change this? If you're not, find out how, then change that and meet the goal.
Exactly. And it's almost like being the asshole in these situations and showing them. And I'm not saying be the asshole of like, "Oh, you're a fucking piece of shit, you're a lazy cocksucker," whatever. That's not what I'm saying. Like, holding that level of accountability and allowing them to feel it is being the asshole. You're not really being understanding with their emotional state at that point because you're kind of allowing them to see it. But if you protect them from 100% of it, there will never be a change and it won't get fixed.
Yeah, but that's a fine line. That's a balance.
It
You
is.
can't completely be an asshole to a person because you want to see a change in them. That's not going to make them see um any kind of thing past how they were spoken to.
Absolutely.
You have to definitely weigh what you're saying with, there's a level of truth that is true to somebody in how they feel in that moment that may not ring true to other people in that moment. You just have to be careful with the way you bring things up to people because just because it's not how you see things at the time may not be the same, may not be the same as how they see things. So it's easier to, make sure that you're taking into consideration, especially when it's people that you love. You don't really care if, unless you're a boss at work, holding people accountable at work. But when you're doing this in your personal life, you kind of have to,
You have
I
to
mean, you don't
understand where
have
their
to,
feelings and emotions are. And that's the
but
part
yeah,
where I think
everybody's
everybody,
got them,
yeah,
and if you want yours respected, you got to do the same thing with other people.
and I think that's the part where a lot of people struggle and fall into the enabling shit and protecting people from the accountability is this is not a 100 or 0 game. It's there are some people that can be spoken to and have a conversation with where everything is 50-50 of like, "Hey, no, I need you now.
Mhm.
Now's the time when we need each other. We need to fucking do this. This isn't a question." And then there's some people who need a little more than that or a little less or whatever. But when you get to that place in a relationship, not only should you probably have had those conversations beforehand, but you need to be able to be aware of where everything is in real time. You kind of got to be aware of what's going on. Like, emotions are not my fucking at least showing them are not my strong suit.
Right.
But like, you got to be kind of aware of what everybody else is, where they're at. Like, I'm so fucking borderline autistic with that. I look at Bria, I'm like, no, I need you to put it in numbers. At least in numbers, I can understand where you are. Because like if you're looking and you're just down, you not wanting to talk and you being down may look exactly like you being angry and not wanting to talk, or you being frustrated, or you being frustrated from something at work. I need you to put this into a number and tell me why. That's all I need you to do. And it's like, I know that's weird. I know it's hard to put together, but like at least have some sort of conversation here where we can understand each other on whatever level we need to put those pieces together so that way I can help you in whatever way you need me to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might not be able to clearly tell me exactly what you need word for word. But if I know you're at a 7 and I can push you and tell you, "Hey, let's get up, let's go out, let's go get dinner, let's go do something." Try and show care. You know what I'm saying? It's not
Yeah.
just get the fuck up out of bed, you lazy ass. It's let's go have a picnic at the fucking lake. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit of care that you can put in here and there to like put the person back together because that's your job too. It's not just to enable them and tell them that everything's okay. It's
Well, no, yeah, that's the fine line. You have to be able to speak with, know how to speak. And then that's the whole thing is communication. You need to understand how to be able to speak with someone so they can hear you, so they can understand what's happening. But the want in that person needs to be there to be accountable. Because if that want isn't there to be accountable and they just don't want to take accountability for one of the reasons aforementioned that I mentioned earlier, there's nothing you can do. So don't bang your head up against a wall trying to hold somebody accountable. That's not your job. You're an accountability buddy, or you're the person that the go-to person for that person. Yeah, you have that conversation, but make sure that you're having productive conversations. You know, you have to take
mhm.
the feelings into consideration, and that's all in how it's received as well. It's Some people just absolutely downright refuse to take accountability or believe that they're wrong in situations. They don't want to admit that for whatever reasons, you know.
And they're the people that are still running today, and that's the problem. That's the problem with a lot of things is they know that they're, $100,000 in debt and they're still going to swipe the card. They understand that, they are fucking everything up and making everything worse for themselves, but they're still going to say the thing. They're going to say the thing in hopes that you don't hold them accountable for it. Regardless of if you're still in the relationship or not, there's
Yeah.
still things in that relationship that you hold a boundary on, and that's accountability too. You can't just sit there and become a doormat because everybody else wants to walk over you and you've accepted it for 30 years of your life. You have to learn how to hold that boundary and say no. Just because I said yes 50 fucking times and you've hurt me 50 fucking times doesn't mean that I'm going to fucking protect you this time. I
No,
tried protecting you. You had to hear it the 50 fucking times. The 51st, fuck you.
but then they take that as nagging. So why are you even trying? I mean, at that point, when you're spinning your wheels with someone who won't take accountability, those are the things that happen. That's the cycle of toxicity you get into. Somebody doesn't want to take accountability for being on the couch or in the bed for days on days, and then they lose their job and they don't have an income. Then your income's cut in half. So then the bills get down, and you're trying, the other person in the relationship's just trying to spin, spin, spin,
And we
work, work,
look at you
work.
and say, why can't you do this?
It's
Why
tough.
can't you fix it? And it's like, I can't fix you.
No. And it's not your job to fix them. Like I said, you can be an accountability buddy to somebody, but it's not your job to fix anybody but yourself. But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, as
exactly.
much as you want to help people, as much as you wanted to help her, there was no fixing something that refuses to even think that they're incorrect about situations that they're clearly incorrect about, that they're making irrational decisions about. Refuse to see that that's what they're doing. You can't
And
make them see something.
with the way the world is and how everything's changing and how everything's warping with how the world is moving forward right now, we are less accountable for our actions and less accountable for our words today than we ever have been. And it's
As a
just
society.
and it's
Mhm.
just getting worse and worse and worse. And
Yeah.
it's and I am in every right to say that it is one specific gender that does it. But I'm gonna cast the net completely wide and say everybody fucking does it. Because, I'd rather be straight up with it. The reasons are different and the morality in it's different.
Me either. That would take a whole nother hour.
Yeah. But that accountability is absolutely disheartening and frustrating. And it's just another fucking thing. It becomes a level that's just completely disconnected from reality. When somebody just wants to run away from something, you're never going to hold them accountable unless you fucking say no. It's
Well, that's
understanding
what,
what that boundary is.
yeah, I mean, that's your boundary. And it's the language. It's not holding them accountable for anything. It's just holding your boundary.
Yeah.
You can't hold them accountable. They have to hold themselves accountable. You know,
Yeah.
you have to set your boundary and just hold your boundaries.
Mhm.
If somebody crosses your boundary, then you decide what to do with that at that point in time.
Yeah.
That's when you can hold them accountable for crossing your boundary by moving in a different way.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But other than that, trying to hold someone else accountable for something, it's just never going to work.
Oh, and it never will.
No, it's a level of
Ye
control that people believe that they might have over somebody, in the under the guise of helping them.
and as kids, you're shown it. You're shown, "Oh, share and everybody treats you equal. Oh, do this and everybody will apologize if something happens wrong." Like, you're shown that there is that fair trade of, like, understanding each other almost. Like, there's a fair trade of, like, "Oh, we give each other the same level of energy and emotions."
Until you realize
And
there's not.
yeah, exactly. That was my
People
point. It was
aren't
like
like that
and then there is at some point
always.
where everybody just stops caring. There isn't that care. And realizing that is weird. And it's almost like because women are shown to love unconditionally, especially towards kids and their significant other, that's where the mother's love comes from. And then you have the males who are supposed to love and guide. It's weird because guys are the protectors that insulate everything, trying to figure out exactly how to not protect every single fucking stick from poking you. And it's hard. It's so fucking hard. It's surreal because regardless of if it's your mom, your significant other, your kids, you just want to fucking protect them. You just want to make them safe. Even if it's the lady down the fucking street. How often do you fucking talk somebody out of a fucking situation? You try and protect everybody from everything that they're fucking doing because that's your fucking job. Hey, don't fucking do that. Stop being an idiot. It's okay. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, there's a level of with your children. There's a level of teaching. I'm going through it with my grandkids right now. There's a level of teaching, and then there's a level of holding them accountable to feel their own bullshit.
Yeah.
Kids talk shit. They talk shit constantly. But at what point do you step in to talk to your kid about the shit that they're talking? You have to help them realize that they need to stop, drop, and roll, bud. Hold yourself accountable for what you just did. You just hurt somebody's feelings. You know what I mean? But you don't want to shield them from all the woes in life. You can't tell them when they're 25 years old that they shouldn't be dating this person, because they're not going to listen to you. They're not going to listen to you when they're in high school about that. You can't hide them from that accountability. That's something
Exactly.
that they have to learn themselves. So it's like the fine line. It's a fine line of all kinds of variables that you're juggling up in the air. But the main point is finding the boundaries that you're willing to accept from the
Yep.
people around you. You know, if you're the type of person that people can come to so that they can hold themselves accountable for making sure their bills are paid on time, or making sure that they're drinking enough water intake in a day, or making sure that they come to the microphone every week to talk about this kind of stuff, holding somebody accountable to have the conversations about it. Conversation is the key. I don't know how many times I can say that. It's just too much to people just roll their eyes about all these cliches that when you really write down all the cliches and you really think about all the cliches, they're not so much cliches as they are like the map through life, in my opinion.
And that really goes back to the same exact conversation I had with you about finding exactly who you are, not what other people told you you had to be.
Yeah.
Is like when you look at the keys of life of like understand each other, not like at a base level, but like if you care about that person, genuinely fucking understand how they work.
Yeah.
Like have conversations with everybody and try and understand their point and give every single person the same level of respect. Not just because they're old, not just because they're young. Give everybody the same level of blanket of respect and allow everybody to either earn more or less than that.
Yeah.
And if you look at those 3 rules and those 3 really big cliches that a lot of people don't wanna fucking agree with, the
Things
people
will
that don't
change.
agree with them are the ones that are assholes, that are banging their head against the keyboard, not wanting you to hold them accountable, not wanting to
Making
say, "Hey,
excuses.
you crossed a boundary. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Now
That's
I'm the
when you
bad
just
guy."
yeah, that's when you just set the boundaries. You don't have to be the asshole telling them about themselves all the time. That's where I crossed the line a lot when I was younger, is trying to tell people about themselves when I just really needed to take a step back and tell myself about myself
Yeah.
first.
And it's hard. It's genuinely hard not to say. For so long, I was so silent that nobody knew what was in my mind at all. And once that became open and I was able to say the things that I felt, it's very hard to shut that down. So it's like a paradox. Do I say more of what's coming out of my head or do I say less? And it's just like it's really hard to read it in real time of what's supposed to happen.
Yeah, that all depends. That all depends on the situation. It all depends on how you want to land with the person. Um, I mean, you have it all depends on how many like times that person has crossed that boundary, you know? Um, and honestly, the only accountability that you are responsible for is holding people accountable for crossing your boundaries.
Yep.
Unless it's like you and I, where we kind of talk things through, you and your mom, Brenda, whatever, that talk things through and kind of are like, okay, am I thinking about this correctly? Did I handle that situation okay? What would you have done differently? Or knowing me, what do you think I could have done differently? We can do that to each other. We know that we're receptive to that kind of
Mhm.
situation, but there weren't many people in my 20s, or that I came across that was really receptive for the reciprocal nature of that kind of a relationship.
And and I'm not trying to goat myself at all, but like I look at that specific situation for me and how positive it is for me. And because it genuinely is, I thank all 3 of you guys so fucking much for the things that you guys have dealt with me as a whole. It's fucking hell. So thank you guys, honestly, publicly. Thank all 3 of you because you guys have helped me immensely. It is weird to look at as a 31-year-old man, looking at that situation and that conversation and how well I'm able to have that conversation Is it somebody who's specific like me, who's understanding and willing to understand different points of view, that is even able to create a situation where that kind of conversation happens? Like, is that a normal thing that those conversations happen with everybody, or is that
Yeah.
just a
This is rare. That's why it's something that I don't really feel like you understand that how rare this kind of communication is.
I don't.
People don't talk to each other like this. And that's the problem because they don't get to understand each other at a basic cellular level of thought. You know, they just want to go off of, oh, you got an American flag in the background, you must be racist. That's where people are. They don't have the level of or the time or the patience to have these conversations with people to realize how they think or
Like
why
that
they might be acting in a certain type of way.
that to me is why I say that I don't get it. Like I wasn't trying to give myself credit of like, oh, I'm on this different fucking plane of existence than everybody
Some
else, and I
people
get it.
are.
I would never say I was regardless. Like even if I felt that, like that is so egotistical and so fucking obnoxious to even say at any fucking level.
Yeah, it's just
But it's
different levels of understanding. I mean, it's just a way to put to
yeah,
say things. Yeah.
but it's just like it's weird to look at because you're not the only person that said that. It's like you have different levels of conversation with everybody. You were talking about people having ideation at fucking 14, 15 years old. Like I understood life at a different way than a lot of people. So I kind of can understand exactly where people are and what level I can kind of communicate with them. But it's weird when you look at the topic at whole. Like you guys hold me very, very, very fucking accountable because I allow myself to be. Because I
Oh
know if
yeah.
I don't, I'm fucking shooting at the hip, and me shooting at the hip may be fucking fun.
Especially not in this situation. I mean, the situation where that we're all kind of helping you guide you on is not something that you can take the revolver out and shoot from the hip. You have to have the person who's methodical, the person who is, you know, worried about everybody's feelings in the situation, the person that kind of wants you to be a little bit more reserved, or the person that is gathering evidence. You have all of those people in us and more.
And
And in this particular situation, it has to keep you tight. It has to keep you from being loose mouthed. You can't
eh,
afford that in this situation.
and that's where I think a lot of other people would have immense benefit from being able to feel their emotions always. There's only one thing, two things that I've genuinely felt through this entire thing. The kids aren't being heard, and that, in my opinion, you legitimately murdered a child and you still will never face the light of day for it. And that fucking sucks because those are the only emotions in this entire thing that I have, which are anger. It's not understanding anymore because you took that away. It's not trying to put the pieces together anymore because we're fucking 4 years, 5 years through this fucking situation. I've already pulled out every single one of my nutsack hairs trying to put everything together that I fucking worked on for 4 fucking years. It has now fallen and crashed to the point where I now have to just flip the bird and keep fucking walking. And god damn it, it is really fucking hard to hold back the anger and not say the words.
Understandable. Understandable, but it not but nothing. Understandable, period. The self-control is gonna pay off.
I know it is. And I completely understand that part of it. And that's me holding myself very, very, very fucking accountable.
Well, that's what conversations with in our chat is about, is having the ability to let loose when you need to let loose. And then if you need to be reeled back in, there's the three of us to help do that to whatever
Yeah.
degree needs to happen. You know, but you
When
need to have that ability to have that outlet, because if you don't, then you're going to do it in the wrong setting, and you can't afford that. This
oh,
is
absolutely.
there's no room for
I'm
error.
holding I'm holding myself to the level of accountability that when police officers show up to the door and I explain to them everything that's going on, they say, I don't understand how you've dealt with all of this. I would be in cuffs. And it's like, yes, brother, I completely understand.
Yeah. Yep.
I,
Yeah,
I
it's
made
mad.
it so that way I had a step of impulse control before everything I did.
Yeah, projection, gaslighting, it's all maddening because you know it's happening, but you can't prove these things until you can fucking prove them. Until they trip themselves up with their bullshit. Well,
And that is where the morality and protecting from accountability and enabling comes from when you surround yourself with a bunch of people who will just get you to shut the fuck up and say yes. And you tell everybody a bunch of lies and they continue to tell you to say yes. And you lose everything because of it. You can't fucking blame me for the lies you told.
no.
You
I'm
can't
sure.
blame me for the things that you should have been charged for. I protected you. I'm done fucking protecting you. The table's been flipped. The cards have been handed. And there are more coming. Guess what? It's a lonely fucking road. But just like me, you guys aren't fucking alone. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep doing better. Guess what? Stop protecting yourself from the accountability and just take it. Life gets better. Keep walking.
Cheers.